Hello and welcome to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is the Valley Business today, so I'm sitting at the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. Niki and I have locked ourselves into our office because you are technically closed till the new year, which is already here when people are listening, but not as we're recording.
Right.
My time machine goes to new heights during the holiday season with recording time versus airing time.
Yeah, and it's that weird stretch of time where none of us really know what day it is, what time it is. Everything is weird and wonky. And I always use this week to get caught up on stuff. And I am usually pretty productive, which is strange considering that, again, I don't know what day or time it is.
Right? It's the one time of year that I feel like everybody else in the world understands how I live my life every day of the year. Not knowing what day it is and thinking about what I got to do tomorrow, even though it's still really today and all of the things.
Understood, yeah.
But you're knee deep right now in planning the big event.
Oh yeah. That, I feel like I'm always
There's always a big event.
There's never a time where and that's okay. It's certainly not a complaint at all, but there's never like a coasting time.
No.
And I think we could all use some coasting time, but that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
So you have a theme for the annual dinner this year?
Yes, we do. We have the annual dinner coming up on January 22nd, and our theme is the Stargazers Gala.
I like
and
that.
So stars and the universe and all of those sorts of things. I'm really excited about the theme. It's very simple in some ways and then very extravagant in others. It's going to be a lot of fun. This year we're holding it at the DoubleTree. This is actually our first annual dinner and awards back since COVID.
What?
So, yes, some things we got back online really quickly and some things it took a little time. And so it's time and we have lots of fun things planned and we're looking forward to it. Tickets are available now and it's going to be a really fun, elegant evening.
It always has been. It is truly one of the centerpieces, I think, of all the events that you do. Everybody knows about the Wine and Craft Festival and everybody knows about the Christmas parade, but this dinner, this annual awards event really is where people buy their tickets and you will see people at this event that you probably won't see any other time of the year because they want to come out and see each other and talk to each other, and it's just so much fun.
It is a lot of fun and it's great to see folks who are very deserving of recognition get recognized for their contributions to the community. Of course, we have all the same favorite awards, the Citizen of the Year, Business of the Year. We have broken that out this year, so we're doing Small Business and Large Business of the Year.
Smart.
We've got the Nonprofit of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, Public Safety, Education Contributor, but we've also added a new award, which is Community Spark Plug Award.
Oh.
And so that can mean a whole lot of things. It can mean something different to every one of us, but that is the folks that you see just
out doing it in the community.
On the ground, doing it in the community, making things happen and really lighting it up. And
I can think of a dozen people right now just off the top of my head that should be nominated for that award. And these aren't awards that you sit here at your desk and decide who's going to get nominated and who's going to win.
No.
You have a committee, but the public can nominate people.
They absolutely can. So the award nominations are out and they are open until January 12th. You can find that, of course, on our Facebook page, on the website, all the normal places. And then I will, of course, collect all of those nominations, prepare them, and put them into a folder, and then send them off to the committee. I won't be in the room. I will have absolutely no say in who gets any of the awards. And I wouldn't, I don't want that.
Right.
So it's special. It's really special to be able to be part of that. And again, to see folks who deserve recognition getting recognized. So that being said, you still have time listening to this. You still have about 5 days that you can make nominations. Nominations are simple. We don't require you to give blood and do all of those things. It really is just filling out a form. We may ask more information from you once we get the information that you submitted, but you may provide us all the information we need. And when you submit your form, we've got a Google Doc that you can fill out, or you can actually fill out the form and drop it off if you want to do that. But there's a place to attach documents. So if there's newspaper articles, if there's pictures, if there's different things, do that. Give us as much information as you can, because when it goes to the committee of folks, the more information that they have,
the better prepared they are
Right,
to make a good decision.
Exactly, and that's what we want. We want them to be as informed as possible so that the right people get the awards.
And then it becomes a very delicate dance because once the winners have been chosen, you don't tell them that they're winning. They may know that they have been nominated, but you want it to be a surprise that evening. But I know from years past being on said committee that it gets a little tricky to get them to the event without telling them why they need to be at the event.
Absolutely.
As someone who was that person whose husband out of the blue said, hey, we should go. And I was like, I'm not going. Why would I go to that? And lo and behold.
There you go. And sometimes we've pulled that off, right? Sometimes that surprise has gone really, really well. And there have been a couple of times where we've just not been able to make it happen. There was no way that person or that business owner or whatever was going to come in those doors unless they knew why they needed to be there. So we try really hard to make it a surprise for folks. We will let folks who have been nominated know, because we also want those folks to know that, hey, someone thought enough of what you're doing in the community to nominate you. So even if they don't win, that's a big deal. To be nominated is a huge deal.
Are you looking for sponsors and all of that sort of stuff still at this stage?
Absolutely. We have tons of sponsorship availability open, from table sponsors to entertainment sponsors, that sort of stuff. Then, of course, you can purchase tickets. So there's lots of ways to support the event. There's going to be a program, so you can buy ads in the program. There's so many ways to participate and to be involved.
Are you doing a silent or live auction?
We will be. We're going to tailor that a little bit more to like packages and have baskets and stuff like that versus just
random things spread out on a table. Thank goodness. I remember those days too, where you had 128 things and they were all individual things and there weren't enough tables to put everything on.
Just too difficult to do. So that's another way that people can be involved and can help as well. If they have an item they would like to donate, we certainly would like that. So yeah, there's lots of ways to participate and to be involved.
And people can buy a table. When you talk about getting tickets, I can get a table and sit with all of the people at my workplace or a group of friends that I have. You can do an entire table, not just one or two tickets.
Absolutely. You can purchase a table, you can purchase 2 tickets or 1 ticket, whatever. But yeah, we've got lots of different packages for folks. So anybody who needs the information can, again, look on Facebook, look on our website, or just give us a call here at the office, 540-635-3185. Send us an email at info@frontroyalchamber.com. Any of those ways, and we'll get right back with you.
You mentioned that it's somewhat of an elegant event. So what is the dress code? I'm trying to think now, what do I have that's going to fit this theme that is also orange?
It's one of those situations where we want folks to be comfortable. So we're not saying to you,
black tie.
Yeah, we're not saying to you that we want you to go run a tux, that sort of stuff.
But there are people that will.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. You can be as casual as wearing what you might wear to work that day, right? Or you can be as fancy as getting your glittery evening gown out. Again, we want folks to be comfortable. We don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm not going to that event because I'm going to have to dress up way more than I'd like to. So please, if having to put on something super dressy is what's preventing you from coming, do not allow that to prevent you from coming, because I am sure there's going to be folks there that are going to be less dressed.
That would be me. Hello, my name is Janet. I don't have an orange sequined evening gown, so
you should have one.
You're right.
You should have one, Janet. But yeah, so please don't let that be the thing that keeps you from coming.
So before we go to break, nominations, where can people find them and get them submitted back to you by when?
So the deadline to submit is January 12th. Of course, on the Chamber's website, frontroyalchamber.com. I have put it right on the front page. You'll see it says award nominations PDF. You can click on that. You can, of course, go to our Facebook page. You can find it there as well. We have a Google Doc you can fill out, or you can fill out the form. Email us at info@frontroyalchamber.com, and I'm happy to send it to you. All of those ways that you can grab it.
Let's take a break. When we come back, in the grand scheme of there's always another big event around the corner, you're now accepting vendors for the Wine and Craft Festival that isn't happening until May. So can we talk about that in the next segment?
Oh yeah, there's lots to talk about there.
We're going to do all of that when we come back. We are sitting at the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce today, talking with Niki Foster for the Valley Business Today. We're going to come back and do more of that in just a couple of minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. It is the Valley Business today, so we're sitting at the front Royal Chamber. Nikki Foster is sitting across the desk from me, talking about all the cool, fun things to come in 2026. In the first segment, we talked about the Stargazers Gala, which is really cool. I love that theme. I think we should keep that theme forever.
I like it too. It's probably going to say something like that the whole,
because you can do a theme within that title.
Absolutely. And there's so many things you can do with it. Like,
right?
It's just,
We could do a Jetsons theme.
We could. I feel like, is it next year maybe? There's a live action Jetsons movie coming out.
Get out.
Yeah, I think it's...
Because you know that's the ringtone on my phone.
I know. I think it's 2027, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So we'll have to do a watch party.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
But we joked before we went to break. Wine and Craft is going to be here before we know it. There is no rest for the weary. You're accepting vendor apps now for Wine and Craft because it fills up fairly quickly.
To give you an idea of filling up, so we do an early bird discount. We always do that at the end of December and run it until this year it's January 15th. And I put that stuff out 3 days ago. We have 30 vendors now, and we only take about 150 vendors total. So we're already a fifth of the way to, and that's just...
And they're getting a deal.
Yeah. And that's just having opened the applications up in the last few days.
You love the variety. I love the variety.
Yes,
so people that are listening, it doesn't have to be a specific thing that they do or that they make. Something that is unique and unusual is always welcome as a vendor at Wine and Craft.
Absolutely. So it's a really delicate balance because you don't want to have too many of any one thing. So one of those things that I can talk about, and I'm not knocking anybody that does it, but you can have overkill on it, and it's something that I think all of us as festival organizers right now and event organizers are dealing with is 3D printing, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge thing
There's
right
a
now.
lot of people doing that.
Yes, there are a lot of folks who are doing it, so we have to be really careful and walk that fine line. Jewelry is another one of those
I would say
things.
5 years ago it was jewelry.
And so what we need to make sure is that everybody's different, that it's different mediums and different types, all of that sort of stuff. So there's a lot that goes into that piece of it, but there's always something new. There's always the next thing, like crochet is another thing that's gotten really big.
I wish somebody could explain that to me.
Yeah. I don't have the patience for that.
Kelly Walker taught me how to crochet, and I was gung-ho and gonna make myself a blanket, got my orange yarn, did all the things, and then about a third of the way through, it started looking a little wonky. So I took it to her and said, where did I go wrong? And watched as she unraveled the entire thing back to where I had made a wrong stitch. Now, to her credit, she then recrocheted it back to where I had started. So I didn't lose anything. But that's when I decided that this blanket looks a lot better as a scarf. And my crochet career is over.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I don't have the patience, that focus, that sitting, it just...
Heaven forbid I should make a hat. I was doing something that I thought, okay, I'm going to make this square thing.
Yeah,
it's very easy.
Yeah,
but gloves and hats, and Kelly used to do a beautiful, she had a whole bunch of hats that have like flowers that she would then crochet and attach to the hats. I have so many of those.
Yeah,
yes.
I still have found it recently. I still have one of those hats too.
But people love that stuff.
Absolutely they do. And so there's that. One of the things I'm super excited about, they've not been at our festival before, and they just signed up, is we have a pickle vendor. Yeah.
Oh, I know you're excited about that.
I'm
the pickle queen.
Incredibly excited about that. And I would say their name, however...
Is it Badass Pickles?
It is Badass Pickles. I thought I couldn't say that word.
I'm I'm not sure we can, but we're going to say it
Okay.
anyway. Because they were at Kris Kringle Market at Belgrove, and Kristen said it, nobody complained. So we're going to go with it.
Okay, then yes, it is Badass Pickles. I'm super excited. I went on their website yesterday, and there's a jalapeno Hawaiian, and there's a habanero, and pickles and hot stuff. Count me in. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for that. So yeah, there's just, again, it's curating a really good selection.
Because pottery is the same way. You can have
Absolutely.
10 or 15 potters in a particular show, and if one of them is doing a particular color scheme, or one only does mugs, and one does mugs with funny sayings on them, and one does bowls, like Carrie Hahn in Shenandoah County does those beautiful bowls with the birds and whatnot on them. I'm a huge collector of pottery colanders because I put hens and chick plants in them in the spring and in the summer, makes them easier to water that way. But you can have a wide variety, but it's all still pottery.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so that's what we have to watch out for. In the beginning, it's not so difficult because it's new, but as we move through, when we get to the end of February or March, we're probably going to have to turn down some really good vendors because we've already
somebody else has already come in.
And so that's why it's really important to get your application in early, because we do have to turn people away. I think last year we had to turn about 25 vendors away for various reasons. Some we sold out, of course, but also we had too many repeats or that sort of stuff. So it is vitally important to get in early.
And as large as Main Street and Chester Street are, you still have limited space. So it's not like you can just, we're going to take this street over now. That's not an option.
Exactly. Yeah, the footprint that we're in is as large as it can go. We don't have room to expand any further as far as vendors and those sorts of things go. So we have to be very creative in what we're doing. That certainly can be a challenge. And then of course you've got some vendors that want a couple of spaces. You've got to have room for the wineries and for the food vendors and for the entertainment and that sort of stuff too. Yeah, so it's an interesting puzzle piece. Quick shout out to Patrick Henry, who's on our committee, and is actually a chamber board member as well. And there's probably nobody on the planet who stresses themselves out more about an event and placement of vendors than Patrick Henry. And he stresses his wife out too. But we're very thankful that he stresses himself out that way.
Yeah, I remember those days when Katie Toole from the Apple House and I were co-chairs of Wine and Craft for many a year, and we were the ones out there the night before putting the numbers on the curb, and then it would rain and the stickers would come off, and people would show up to set up knowing full well who was on either side of them, and then suddenly it wasn't good enough anymore. We do not give your committee enough props for the nonsense that they put up with leading up to and during that festival.
It's wild. It is absolutely wild. Speaking of Katie, there was one year that I had to call her. Of course, we get up really early for Wine and Craft Festival.
We do.
And I had to call her at home that evening and be like, hey, I hate to bug you, but I need you to come help me move a porta potty. Because this was before our porta potty guy now, Jeremy Baldwin, is phenomenal. L&B Portables, we can't say enough good things about him. This was not him. This was pre him, but they had put the porta potties in the wrong place. And so it was 10 o'clock at night, and we were out in the parking lot pushing porta potties. Fortunately, obviously, they hadn't been used yet, so they were a little easier to maneuver.
Such is life.
Right? That is what happens when you're an event organizer.
Now, maybe not the best segue to talk about being more involved in your chamber. However, you mentioned Patrick is on the Wine and Craft Committee. We talked about the nominating committee that looks at all the nominations. People should be involved in their local chamber. You want them to be involved.
Absolutely. We want folks involved, and we talk about these fun events, right? Wine and Craft Festival, the annual dinner, the beer festival,
Christmas
the
parade,
all of those things. We talk about those fun events, but there's also committees like the Business Development Committee, and those guys work on things like coffee and conversation and educational opportunities and those sorts of things. And we have a lot of conversations within that committee about what's happening here locally in the local government, with the business community, that sort of stuff. Then we have legislative that works on candidates forum, those sorts of things. There's a number of ways to be involved. A nonprofit. We've got a robust nonprofit committee. So there's lots of ways, and you should be involved, because again, it just gives you more insight into the community in which you live and or work in.
Are you in the new year going to do more or another one of those? Didn't you do like a Chamber 101, here's what your chamber does and all the committees and that sort of stuff? Will you be doing more of those in the new year so people can get familiar with that?
The short answer is yes. Probably quarterly. because I tried monthly, and
That was a lot.
It was a lot, and sometimes I was sitting out the table by myself and nobody showed up, and that doesn't make me feel good, right?
Right.
And it's not because people weren't interested. Anyway, yes, I'm going to be doing them quarterly. I'm guilting all of you who are out there listening now, so when you see it, I expect you to say, yes, I'll be there,
Yes.
so that I'm not sitting at the table by myself.
I will come. And so anyone who's listening that is thinking, I probably should be more involved, if they show up, maybe we'll give them a shout out. We'll record some snippets.
I like it.
And we'll
Okay.
give them a shout out on the show. So there's a little added incentive.
Yeah. And we do, like, when someone joins the chamber, I always have a meeting with them and we talk about those things. But it's really a good idea to maybe once a year to check in.
Because there are things that you add throughout the year that maybe you joined a year
Absolutely.
ago or 5 years ago, and now there are 2 or 3 new things
Sure.
that they may not be familiar with because they joined and they come to business after hours and that's the only thing that they do,
Right.
and they would really enjoy being involved in something
I
else.
just scheduled our next bowling event today, March 12th. There's always things happening. That's a good way to keep your pulse on what's going on.
Getting e-connections is a vital point
Sure.
of communication because you put everything in there.
Yes.
And you don't have to be a chamber member to get those e-connections.
Oh no, we want as many people reading those as possible because part of that is our members submit information. Sometimes I steal the information off of social media if I run into it and they haven't sent it to me, but they submit information. So not only are you seeing what's happening with the chamber, but you're also getting a glimpse of what's going on with our chamber members and that sort of stuff too. So yeah, if you aren't a chamber member, but you still want to keep up with what's happening, you can absolutely sign up to receive that on our website, on our Facebook page.
And that makes sense in so many other ways too, because a lot of the events that you do aren't just chamber member oriented events.
Sure.
The Christmas Parade's a perfect example of that.
Absolutely.
Wine and Craft is a perfect example of that. It's open to the public. Anybody can come. You do those events for the community, not for the members necessarily.
Right. Yeah, those are definitely examples of community. Now, and at the end of the day, our hope is that our member businesses that participate, they're getting more exposure and folks are learning more about them. But yes, at the end of the day, those are huge community events that do have a pretty big impact on our community.
Where can people go to sign up for eConnections?
On our website, there's a sign up button on our website. They can also get on Facebook, there's a sign up button there. Again, send me an email, info@frontroyalchamber.com, and I'm happy to sign you up as well.
Thank you for giving me a refresher. I'm looking at your list and my calendar and thinking, man, she's going to make me busy again in 2026.
I like it.
But I appreciate it today.
Thank you so much.
I will be back tomorrow, not live with Captain Warren Gosnell, because in addition to the crazy holidays, Niki wouldn't have been before him anyway, because the first Thursday of the month was last Thursday as people are listening. So I don't even know right now as I'm sitting here staring at you who the guest is tomorrow. So show up a little after noon, head to the podcast of the Valley Today podcast a little after 11, and be surprised.
I like it. Surprises are good.